And we're live. Yep, we're live. We're good. Everything's hunky dory. We're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bond Geek channel. As always, I'm your host for this one and only Bond Geek channel. It is the name Stevens, Henry Stevens. Now, of course, I'm not the only Bond Geek channel out there. You got people like Calvin, David Zaritsky, Joseph Darlington, Yoram. The list is endless of these amazing people. How is everybody in the live chat? All looking good. We've got some lovely questions by Jack, which I'm really happy to see. As you can see today, not really gone sort of massively smart. Very, very casual today. Got my controller ready to talk about some James Bond video games. Really looking forward to this one. Very much so indeed. And it's just really great to see everybody. Do you know what? Just quickly, it's now basically already, we're nearly basically halfway through 2022. I mean, where's it gone? Seriously, what has everyone else done this year? Please write that in as well, because I'd really love to hear how everyone else's sort of year has been so far, because 2022 seems to be just flying by. I mean, next year I'm getting married. It's going to literally come like that. I mean, we might, there's even talk about potentially them announcing the next Action Play Bond before the end of the year, quite legitimately, which I think is just quite scary. I really do think it's really, really scary. But anyway, that's really cool. So as to say, today's sort of live stream is about video games and James Bond. I'm also going to give some quick discussions about Top Gun Maverick. I'm going to talk a bit about as well the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I don't care. I'm saying it loud and I'm saying it proud to you all. I loved the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It is, and I really think it is one of not like the second place or number one top thing that Disney had done since taking over Star Wars. That shut down my mind. But we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the videos that that came out this month. They were really cool to see, and just chat about the little bits and drabs about them. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to chat about here. So let me just quickly in the chat. Is everyone having a good time? Everyone got a nice drink, just relaxing, which I hope so. I think it's important to do, absolutely. So before we get into it, everyone, let's just quickly discuss, as we always do at the beginning of these things, just quickly about the videos that we got on the live channel this month. So obviously, first video we did, which was a massive big thing, was the reasons why I think Aidan Turner should be James Bond. Now, you know what? Look, I've done now a video for Henry Cavill potentially being James Bond, which he is, hands up and honest, he is my personal favorite to take over the role as James Bond. So I'm really excited. I just hope he'll get it. I did one for potentially Tom Hiddleston because I thought he'd be another great choice. And my sort of like most realistic person, I think, who could take over the role as Bond, some of the Bond producers might go to, is really potentially, I think, Aidan Turner. Because I think Aidan Turner is primed to take over the role as James Bond. I think it'd be really, really good. And as I mentioned in the video, a lot of you really enjoyed that. A lot of you really commented about that. So really excited to hear that as well. And I think he could be Bond for a complete new generation. So that was really, really good. Now, the other video, which I knew would get a bit of controversy, but once again, tribute to all of you in the Bond Geek Bond community. You know what? I posted that video about my sort of in-depth review and analysis of the James Bond's death in No Time to Die. And I think, as I said in the video, forevermore it is going to be a bit of a taboo subject, and it's going to be like a Marmite. You either accept it or you don't. You love it or you hate it. But I gave my reasons how my perspective on it. And do you know what? One thing I really loved about that video was literally over Facebook, over Twitter, on the comment sections in that video as well, everyone, whether you agreed or disagreed, was so complimentary to say, you know what, yep, didn't work for me, but I respect your opinion that you liked it, or vice versa. And to me, that was just absolutely amazing. And again, one of the reasons I love us in the Bond community so much is the fact that we have that sort of, we're very much respectful of each other's opinions, which I think is just really, really great and really fun to see. And, I'm really grateful for that. And the last video we did for this month was talking about Bond guilty pleasures, which obviously got released last week. Because I'm sorry, I think there are guilty pleasures. I mean, some people talk to me about as well, like the Man with the Golden Gun being a guilty pleasure. Like my favorite guilty pleasure, as I mentioned in the video, is Die Another Day. I really love that I really do like that film. It is terrible, but I do like it so much. So I really, really enjoyed it. But you know what? One of the great things about the Brosnan era is the video game. So let's just jump into this right now. Now, I talked a bit about that. Now, by the way, those videos that I mentioned, like Internal for James Bond, review depth analysis of No Time to Die's Bond's killing is, and Guilty Pleasure. It's all on the channel for you to watch at your own leisure, everyone. So let's just quickly talk about video games. Now, again, I don't know everyone else's ages here who may be younger than me, older than me, whatever, but I grew up with Pierce Brosnan Bond. And basically, when it came to Pierce Brosnan Bond, video games were in hot supply. You used to be getting them nearly every year or every other year. It was fantastic. Now, my first video game, which I don't have, like so many, I think, Bond fans out there, is GoldenEye on the N64. Now, that game is a classic without a shadow of doubt. And I bet you right now there are tons of Bond geeks out there, us Bond fans, and you bet in the comment section when I finally get to them, are just talking about their experiences with GoldenEye N64, because it really was a seismic shift in the video game industry, not just for Bond fans, just in general. That game was utterly amazing. I mean, I honestly, I want to tell this story. I won't reveal what friend it is, but he had an N64. I played it with him a lot. I didn't have an N64. Like, my first console was like PlayStation. I used to be a PC gamer first. He could do a level of GoldenEye N64 blindfolded. He could, and he actually nearly did it. I say, you could do it. I think he got about 9/10 of the way in the level and then finally messed up one bit, but he knew that game so well. You could do it blindfolded. I ask you all in the comment section, anyone who's like watching this video afterwards, can you think of a game that you know so well, that you did so much, you could actually do a level of it blindfolded? Because I'll be honest with you, I can't. But there were other games I played. I didn't own them, but I sort of played them, which was like, there was the Tomorrow Never Dies game on the PlayStation, and there was The World's Not Enough. They were good games. I enjoyed them. They weren't some of the greatest Bond games. I mean, by the way, if you want really great in-depth look at them, I always give a shout out to this guy because he has one of my favorite Bond channels. Go to Calvin Dyson's Bond channel. I'm sure all of you know, but you've seen him do his video game reviews. That he really captures, I think, the fun, the enjoyment, and the enormous irritation of those video games a lot. It's actually crazy when thinking about it. But I remember playing 20 Never Dies. I liked that it was third person, because I'll say that right off the bat. Third person video games for me, I slightly prefer. First person, don't get me wrong, is great, but certainly when playing Bond games, I preferred sort of like seeing Bond and controlling him than just having like the gun face thing. That was just, again, a personal thing for that. But anyhow, that was like, weird enough, GoldenEye N64, Tomorrow Never Dies, Was Not Enough, was like probably third generation video games. Obviously there were many games for it, like James Bond 007, License to Kill. There was other games again that like the what was it, Super Nintendos and Sony Sega Mega Drives. I didn't play any of them. One day I might. Well, I hope to. But one of the big reasons I talk about this is because I keep saying this to people, and I must do a video on this sometime. But one of the things that really kept Bond alive in the time between Brosnan and Craig was the fact that we were getting still regular Bond adventures. We could play Bond. We could keep it in our minds. And they were really good games. Believe it or not, everybody, there was a time in life where EA games, yes, EA games made great games. I kid you not. Literally, there was a time in my life where if you knew it was a game from EA, you were getting a high quality game. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. But that was true. But they gave us some amazing Bond games. Now, after GoldenEye N64, my next sort of Bond game I played properly was the PlayStation World's Not Enough. And I got it with my PlayStation 2 and Agent Under Fire. Now, for a lot of people, I think Agent Under Fire is one of those games that everyone just remembers. I know it sounds silly. It's like, look at the disc. That disc says a million memories. And And do you know what? Again, I play this game a lot. I really do love this game. I'm going to be honest. I wish I didn't have the like PlayStation Platinum thing version of it. I'd like a full game, but you know, it was a really, really great game. What I loved about it, and I think a lot of people made the same comment, was because it didn't have any likeness of any actor. It was just felt so original. And again, female Bond villain, which was amazing. Mal Prave is one of the most unsung Bond villains. You got Nigel Block, who was like one of the henchmen. You got, I don't know if you can see it there. You remember those two twins? You still got the BMW, which is annoying, but it was a great game, really great fun to play. I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but do you remember in the game there was a gadget like with the phone where like you could zip cord to different places in the multiplayer? I'm not joking. Like me and my friends, my other brother, we used to like just like going around the map, zip cord, zip cord, zip cord. It was brilliant. And again, I think that's another reason why we Bond fans and like so many people in the gaming community remember the Bond games favorably is of their multiplayer. I mean, we haven't even touched on the GoldenEye N64 multiplayer, which was legendary. That was just great. And the Agent of Files multiplayer was great. But I think one of the true games that I think everyone from my generation remember is Nightfire. I think this is definitely one of the, all-time sort of classic James Bond video games. A lot of people, talk about it right up there with, GoldenEye N64. And I am going to say something that is actually probably quite controversial. Bum, bum, bum. I think the storyline and the campaign in this game is not actually that good, but the multiplayer is better than N64 GoldenEye. This game and Time Splitters Future Perfect and Time Splitters 2, without a doubt, is the greatest multiplayer experience of my life. Honestly, I know everything's now online and Call of Duty Online and all that stuff. It's all all that, but I'm sorry. The days spending multiplayer on this game with my friends and my family and my brother's friends, just constantly doing it, it's some of the happiest memories I'll ever have in my life. It's without a shadow of a doubt. It's just incredible. It's just brilliant. The multiplayer in Nightfire, it was on a whole new level. I don't know now, again, if someone had the same experience playing Nightfire as a kid, please write in and tell me, because I'm really interested to know. But I remember in Nightfire, there was a Skyrail sort of map. And what we used to do was get the rocket launchers where you fired and you could actually control the missile. And what we used to do was brilliant. Was in different maps, we used to try and find hiding places. And then we'd all get the missiles ready to launch. We all agree 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'd launch the missiles, and literally the whole game was like trying with the controller, like trying to like aim your rocket to hit someone or find someone and not crash into things. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. The music was great as well. Now, I will fully admit that I used cheat codes to unlock all the characters and all the maps and all these stuff, but it made the multiplayer experience one of the greatest things ever. So again, I might be controversial this, but the actual game Nightfire, not particularly good, but the multiplayer made this one of the greatest Bond games ever. Now, we all know what's next, and this is probably, out of all of EA games, probably my second favorite game they ever did, which was Everything or Nothing. This game was, in a word, people say this was like Brosnan's lost fifth Bond game. Fifth Bond film. And yeah, you could say, I mean, this really was done like a movie in a game, and it was done so well. This game is probably one I play the most out of all my old Bond games. I love revisiting Everything or Nothing. It's really great. I love the cast. It's just such a good story. I love it. I really, really do. It was such a great game. I think, these two are sort of like polar opposites. As I mentioned, Nightfire, the campaign is crap, but the multiplayer is beyond dreams. This is the exact opposite. The campaign, the storyline is incredible. The multiplayer is dire crap. And if you ever played Everything or Nothing, you know what I mean. Because it was literally like just a one-hot frame when your 3D characters walk around. It was dreadful. It was not good at all, but the storyline, the levels, and Everything or Nothing was something of just heavenly brilliant. I just absolutely adored every single thing about it. I loved it so much. I think, Willem Dafoe was a great bad guy. Heidi Klum in there, Sharon Elizabeth. At the time, the graphics were amazing. We just couldn't believe the graphics at the time. It was just great, and it just felt like one of the most amazing things. And I don't know about anyone who remembers spider bots. The little spider bots that R gave. It was just really, really fun and great. There was the motorcycle sequence, chasing Jaws, the fighting Jaws on the train, the helicopter motions, the grapple hook going up and down things. Just happy memories of Everything or Nothing. It was weird enough. Me and my best friend, his name's Edward. What we used to do, what we actually do like to do whenever we meet up, is we love doing split screen campaigns. When you can play the campaign as two people. But this game, we fully accept. We just right, one of us do a level, next person does a level. If you die, you forfeit your go and all that stuff. That's how we did it. And I have so many happy memories of sleepovers at each other's house, whatever, and just stay up late at night, just doing this game or Nightfire. Because my friend knew I was the big Bond fan. He really got into he was really into Bond as well. Not as much as me, but he really enjoyed it. Now, I know the next game is GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Now, I will be honest, I don't own GoldenEye Rogue Agent yet. For my local CEX store, which is buy, swap, and trades shop, it's 50p. So next time I go into CEX, I'll have to look for it and just quickly grab a copy of GoldenEye Rogue Agent. But that was the game, honestly, when I basically put my hand up and say, look, you can't accept that everything is great. And I will fully accept, hands down, that GoldenEye Rogue Agent was a crap game. I really thought it was a nice idea to once play the villain, but it ended up being you weren't actually against Bond or anything. You were just against another Bond villain. It was a bad game. The gameplay was terrible. The way it run was just a bad game. I forget about it. But my favorite game of the EA years, without a shadow of doubt, was Sean Connery coming back from Russia with Love. This perfected everything that Everything or Nothing was trying to do, and actually gave, not in my opinion, quite a decent multiplayer. Actually, I think this game is absolutely terrific. One I play again a real lot. I think the leveling system is great. The point system, the levels are really fun and different. I never would have thought actually that Everything or Nothing, so not Everything or Nothing, for Russia of Love would have made a great video game. But they collage a lot of Sean Connery's era stuff into here, and I absolutely love this game so much. Now, I am wary that we're now about nearly 18 minutes in. I know you guys have been really ramming your questions in, which is really great. So just keep them going, and we will get to them. But we're on to the Daniel Craig era Bond games now, and this we're going to have to go through a bit more quicker because, if I'm honest, it's this era of Bond games that, really ring true in my heart. Really, really much so. That's the one I really care about the most. But let's just go through the Daniel Craig era ones. Obviously, Activision took control at this point when you had Quantum of Solace, which was basically Casino and Quantum all mashed together. Really good game. It was just based on the COD engine, which is fine. But again, it's actually a really nice, fun game to play. I really enjoy this game. Really, really fun. The Casino Royale levels are much better, and it's just a nice, easy one to go through again. Right, we then got Bloodstone. Again, really, really. Do you know what? Actually, to be honest, I keep trying to say to myself, it's a good game, but to be honest, I don't think Bloodstone is. I actually found that Bloodstone was honestly a bit of a disappointment. I don't think the storyline was crap. The levels were okay, and it just lacked the fun of a video game. It's like we have to be so hardcore serious for the Daniel Craig era. We're sort of forgetting that a video game still needs to be fun. It just lacks something. But then we had also, it was on the Wii, and I did actually originally play it on the Wii, but I did get the PlayStation 3 version eventually. GoldenEye Reloaded, which I actually think is a really, really fun game. It's not a complete remake of N64 version, which actually I prefer. Nice nods, great multiplayer as well, which again, me and my friend Edward, we played a lot of together. And a really great, fun, easy game pick up to play. I really like this one. I really did like Goldeneye N64. I know a lot of people give it a bit of a hard edge, but I'm sorry, I stand by it. I actually really enjoyed it. Now, you all know what's next, and I bet in the comments, if I look down at the bottom, we're going to suddenly have, oh my god, he's going to do 007 Legends, Ned. Who's going to be the first person to write in, oh my god, it's Legends? Let's see. I want to see. I've literally on the bottom of the things, I want to see who's going to write in, oh my god, it's Legends next. Let's just see. Anyone? You going to get anything? I'm just going to hold it up. You know it's coming. Come on, who's going to put the first comment in about 007 Legends? Oh, here we go. Jack Hine gets it. Jack, you win the prize of knowing that you were the first person to comment. Yes, 007 Legends. This is without doubt, I think, the biggest disappointment in video games when it comes to James Bond. Because when I heard about the concept of like one film from each era, I thought, yes, this would be fantastic. You know, a couple of levels for each from the main ones. And again, we had Goldfinger, Moonraker, Die Another Day on Her Majesty's, and License. What great games. What great games to, what great games. What great films to adapt, actually. Put it all in this one big game. And then we're going to have some Skyfall at the end as well. I thought this game was going to be absolutely amazing. Oh, was I wrong? Oh, was I wrong? This is definitely, I think, this is the game that killed the Bond game franchise. You know, we still, you know, the time I'm recording this is 2022. It's been 10 years and we haven't had a Bond game since this one. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. And I was so upset. I really was so upset that this was the last Bond game we had because it was so annoyingly bad. Oh, the driving levels were just you couldn't. Those drives were undrivable. It was, oh god, it was bad. Oh, I still have PTSD from it. But look, the fact of the matter is, we've had these in the past, the great ones, the good ones. You know, we've got great stuff coming. Okay, we know we've got great stuff coming. We've got IOIs, you know, the creative Hitman doing their own Bond game, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm desperately trying to save up for PS5, so you know, when that comes out, I can play it. I can't wait to try that. But I think video games, certainly in the Bond series, is really, really important. I really do. And the reason I say that is because it helps Bond stay in the public consciousness and, like, certainly helped me from a young generation, really help add into that getting into James Bond. I feel very strongly now, and again, give me your thoughts down below, but we need to get Bond video games back in the, in the market. We need to get a constant stream of new Bond games, whether being adaptations of old games or new stories or the movies coming out. We need Bond games back in the public eye, because I'm sorry, I think one of the big reasons that actually Casino Royale was a success, because remember, it was a long time between Die Another Day and Casino Royale, is because the Bond games are still going out, keeping Bond in the public eye, even when we didn't know information about the movies. Yeah, so that's my little sort of thing on Bond video games. We're going to just quickly move on to a quick other thing. Is that obviously recently Barbara Broccoli and Mike Wilson got their on awards recently. I think it's the OBEs, which again, I'm really over the moon that they got them. And I also heard there was, did anyone else see this? There was this article that was having an interview or something, which they suddenly, I think they dropped something they weren't meant to, which is like they're intending to announce the next actor to play Bond before the end of the year, sometime later in this year. And I didn't know if this was just them just speculating or this is actually an accidental drop they weren't meant to drop in this article, because I saw it and then it did go away. It did go away, that little section. So I'm wondering, was this actually accidental? So I'm not gonna lie, I'm slightly thinking about this. Now, are they going to announce the next actor maybe on James Bond Day this year to mark the 60th? Because I did mention to you earlier, remember, I did get that one person who claimed they had an inside source information that, it was Christopher Nolan going to be directing the next Bond film, and it was going to be announced that it was actually Aidan Turner, the guy I just did a video about, playing James Bond. One of the reasons I also did the video as well. Maybe, could that actually happen? I don't know. That just got me interested in thinking, Because I'm not gonna lie, if they already announced this year, like, you know, got a new actor starting production next year, that's very quick. That's very quick. But I do believe in the time between, you know, when everything was happening, that they have been working on Bond 26 for a while. I'm sorry, I refuse to accept throughout all of lockdowns that they were just twiddling their thumbs, just waiting for No Time to Die to release. But anyhow, everyone, we have just come to the end of the Bond video games here. We're going to talk about some other things that I watched before we get into the lovely questions and comments you've all been handing in. I can't wait to answer them all. And I'm really glad that everyone's really wanted to talk about Bond games. It's been absolutely great. But let me talk to you quickly about Top Gun Maverick. Now, I got very lucky. In June, was at an outdoor trade show in Liverpool. By the way, first time I ever visited Liverpool in the UK. It's a lovely city, by the way. I was around the docks. It was lovely. And my boss decided to treat me to go see Top Gun Maverick in IMAX. And may I say, without a shadow of a doubt, I think Top Gun Maverick is one of the best films of the year I've seen so far. I think it's a real fun, entertaining romp film. It really was really great fun. And I also think, hands down, that Top Gun Maverick is superior than the first Top Gun. I think the drama is in Top Gun Maverick, the storyline, the stakes, the fact that everything's done for real, minus, should we say, just a couple of missiles, that doesn't really give too much away. I think is incredible, and it's really, really interesting and really, really cool. So Top Gun Maverick, in my opinion, was without doubt a massive success in my eye. I think it's going to soon make $1 billion. It's like already Tom Cruise's biggest movie. Who would have thought, actually, if you think about it, that a long-awaited sequel to Top Gun would be the sort of, you know, be Tom Cruise's highest, you know, money-making film? Yeah, it's crazy that, I think, just absolutely bonkers. But I really enjoy it. I think, I will say this. Jennifer Connelly plays the love interest in the film, if you haven't already seen it. The chemistry, the on-screen chemistry between Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly is magnetic. It's incredible. Why these two never worked together before, I will never, ever know. But they should definitely try and work together a bit more. But the other thing also I saw, which, as you might know, I am, as well as a James Bond fan, I'm very much a Star Wars fan and a Whovian as well, MCU and DC, all that stuff. But this, you know, very much so, this week coincided with the end of the 6-part Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I want to say right now, I am a child of the prequel trilogy. Don't get me wrong, I watched the original trilogy first as a kid. Prequels came out in cinema. First one, episode 1, Phantom Menace, when I was 9. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I felt, was made for me because I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was, without doubt, one of the best things, as I said earlier, Disney has ever made when it comes to Star Wars. What I love about it is almost like they learned the mistakes of The Last Jedi, because Obi-Wan Kenobi at the beginning of the show, you know, he is like where Luke is in The Last Jedi. He's broken, he's damaged. When you think about it, he feels he's failed the Republic, he's failed the Jedi, he had to kill and murder his own best friend. He's now to go in hiding, not, you know, he's at an all-time low. And you can see that, how he is. And then over the course of the series, you see him get his spirit back and like his new purpose and his, you know, forgiving himself for the past, which was done so incredibly well in the series. And I think it really culminated really well at the end. And it was just incredible. Now, I know a lot of people say like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show, destroys canon. I'm sorry, I don't really see that for a couple of reasons. And I'm just going to give my perspective on it. Remember, this is all me. A lot of people say, you know, now the message from Leia at New Hope just doesn't reference this. Well, to be honest, it makes more sense now that Leia's the one sending the message because of what happened now in this series. It makes more sense, you know, and then also using her, you know, talking about her father in the Clone Wars and the fact that Obi-Wan remembers saving her and being around her at 10, it just makes it even more heartbreaking. It also adds little bits in because, you know, for most of the series, you know, Obi-Wan keeps calling Vader Anakin, but then at the end, there's this, you know, the big scene where, you know, he finally calls him Darth because he realizes his best friend is dead. You know, so that sets up, you know, New Hope says, you know, you're only master of evil, Darth, because he doesn't feel Anakin's alive anymore. It's just someone else. I also think, you know, I know it's a bit of a controversial thing of bringing them back and having a fight, but it did work because they had 2 fights, as we know in this show. One where, you know, Vader completely just beat the crap out of him, basically. And then one where Obi-Wan's back to his sort of, well, potentially even fuller strength than he even was before, his true now prime. Oh, sorry, I just clicked that one. Sorry, I'm just checking some stuff. I don't really think it destroys canon. I actually think it slots in very nicely. I will say this, talking about some negatives, that Prison Break episode, like so many people say, it wasn't one of the best episodes ever. It worked okay, and I have to say, pre-episode 5 and 6, I was going to go on record saying I think Moses Ingram's third sister character was the worst Star Wars character ever. She was basically given, I'm going to swear, fuck all to do, and a fucking terrible written character. But then episode 5 and 6 really fleshed her out and went, oh no, that makes sense now because that and that and that, and then also gave her a great emotional conclusion. It just it really actually worked. And now, like, I've watched the whole thing again and actually going, actually no, this now pays off really, really well. So that's again what I personally think about this. The lightsaber fights in Obi-Wan Kenobi are the best we've seen since the prequels. The little cameo at the end is also incredible. I don't want to give it too away. I stand by. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably one of the best things Disney has done with Star Wars. But listen, that's enough about Star Wars now. I'm sure there'll be some comments about it. And by the way, everyone, all comments about it are allowed. If you like it, you don't like it, or talk about Maverick or James on video games, I want to hear your thoughts. Let's have a discussion about it, as always. I think I'll just say quickly here now, before we get into the comments, just want to give you a quick heads up about some of the videos that are coming in July. I still find it weird saying we were going to start in July. But I've got a video coming up, which I found this article, it's recently released, that did you know there was going to be a Never Say Never Again sequel? And some information has come into light of it. So I'm going to be saying that next. There's also going to be a review of Becoming Bond, the documentary. And I'm also going to be doing, and I need to record this and really just sort of practice saying this one, a 2-part over the weekend of my version, my remake of the movie Never Say Never Again. So that's all coming, just to let you all know. So do look forward to that. But now let's get into Jack's questions to start off with. So, Jack, set the scene, please. Jack, hello from Indiana. You know I'm going to visit you one day. You know one day I'm going to go to Indiana, Jack, and we're going to have to meet up. You know, we're going to have to. Have you seen Heat? No. Again, on my list of things to see. No, I haven't seen Heat yet. I think it's that cop show. I think it's that cop movie with Al Pacino. What's your overall favorite James Bond video game? It's a real tie, honestly. I say it's a tie. I think actually, if I had to make a choice, it would be From Russia with Love. I do think that's the best game. Have you seen Inferno by Ron Howard? Yeah. Yes, I have seen Inferno. I am a massive fan of Dan Brown's books. They're sort of books I will reread again. I think when, Da Vinci Code, Digital Fortress, Lost Symbol, Inferno, there was the other Robert Lang one he did again. I seem to be forgetting it, but I really love his books. I love his style. And I think Ron Howard really brought them to screen really well. And those films just sort of work for me. I know a lot of people maybe find them slow or boring, but I really like them. I haven't seen the show they did yet. I hear it got bad things. So I'm like, yeah, maybe not. At least I got my free movies. Jack, have you heard that John Williams will retire after working on the score for Indiana Jones 5? No, I did not hear that. No, I did not hear that at all. I've got to be absolutely honest. But it wouldn't surprise me. That man is, he's getting on in life. And to be honest, to maybe finish after doing Indiana 5 would be actually a good way to go. I mean, doing all the sequel trilogy and now Indiana 5 and now just calling it a day. I mean, I don't blame the man. I mean, let's face it. And I'll say this. A lot of people, I know my music teachers at school hate me for saying this, but people talk about Johann Sebastian Bach and Mozart and Beethoven, the great classical composers. As far as I'm concerned, John Williams belongs right up with those. He really does. I mean, I'm sorry. You look at the music that man's created over his life and say it's not as good. It is just as good as what some of those masters created. I'm sorry. That's why when anyone says. Jack, have you seen Jurassic World Dominion? I won't spoil it. It's a great film and has some great action because no, I've not. Me and Sean are planning to go see it sometime in July. This month has just been a bit sort of busy for us, and basically with all the living stuff, just having to economize some stuff. But we're saving up for it. I think we're like doing a double bill. We're going to see Jurassic World Dominion and Elvis together, which is going to be a good day. I'm looking forward to that one. But we both love the Jurassic sort of Park movie, and we think Elvis looks incredible. Oh, on that note, everybody, just imagine, God forbid, I'm sorry, but a James Bond film directed by Baz Luhrmann, the director of Moulin Rouge and Great Gatsby and Romeo and Juliet, directing a Bond movie. What would that look like? That's just crazy, I think. Jack again. There's going to be a new Ghostbusters movie. I did hear that. Codename Firehouse. Yeah, Ghostbusters. I said it again. I keep calling them Ghostbusters. I keep doing it. But no, let me just change my lighting just a little bit here. There we go. Just to highlight that a bit. No, let's go there. There we go. Ghostbusters Afterlife is my favorite Ghostbusters movie, so I'm really glad they're going to do one. And he also writes, there's going to be a Lethal Weapon 5 directed by Mel Gibson. Again, I had heard that. I think that's a great choice. I think doing another Lethal Weapon again now is the exact right time. 80s are having a massive comeback. They have been for a while, and it's going to continue going on. To be honest, I'd rather see that than the new Flash film, whenever that does ever. However, we'll see that. Hello to you. So Lorenzo writes, hey bud. Oh, by the way, hey bud. I hope you're well. Hello, greatness of the Bond talk about favorite video games. Thank you very much for that. Great to us. Low. I hate Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's great, bud. That's great. If you don't like it, cool. But honestly, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section. Tell me why it didn't work for you. Let's have a discussion about it, because quite frankly, even though I liked it, your opinion on it is just as valid as mine. And that's the great thing about fandom. We can just chat about it. And in the end of the day, we can get maybe hot under the collar about it and discuss it. In the end of the day, like, yeah, good conversation, bud. Let me buy you a drink. You know what I mean? So honestly, just because you like it or don't like it, I want to hear your thoughts about it, because that way we can have a great conversation about it. Here's an example. Actually, before I get into Jack's question here. I really watch a YouTuber called John Campia. He's the John Campia Show, Rob Burnett, Chris Kyle, Aaron Cummings, and everyone, Ray, and Fact Checker Jonathan. They don't really like Obi-Wan Kenobi that much, but it's okay, because I know if I was sending a comment, they'd respect my opinion that I like it. Jack writes, Top Gun Maverick and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love both of them. Well, there you go. See, Jack, you and me like them, but again, there are some people who don't. I have seen people who don't like Top Gun Maverick or Obi-Wan Kenobi. They just didn't work for them. Hey, that's all good. They respect my opinion for it. I respect their opinion for it. Okay, that's the way it goes. And Purple Barn Sire, hey, bud. My parents have an anniversary. Well, happy anniversary to your parents, bud. Let me toast their good health. May their cup forever be full. I think we're getting some now questions out. We have been here. So, next question. Lorenzo writes, my top favorite James Bond video game system, GoldenEye N64, 20 Dice PlayStation 1, Nostalgic Memories, The World's Not Off PlayStation 1, and Nintendo 64 Nostalgia Kid. You know, again, N64 will always be, I think, one of the games that define, the two games that define N64, no, three games, Mario 64, Mario Kart, and GoldenEye. Those are the games that define it. Some Dice game I found a bit annoying. Didn't really get into it that much. And The World's Not Enough was a great game. Again, I had it on PlayStation 1 as well. Got it the same day I got Asian Under Fire and my PlayStation. And actually Gran Turismo 3. Great Christmas that year. Lorenzo, I love the World's Not Enough game on the N64. I haven't done that one. And PlayStation video games make me love movies so much. Nostalgic, excited video games are fun. Love my favorite James Bond movie games. Yeah, well, again, as video game tie-ins, they probably work better than most video game tie-ins have ever done so ever in their life when you think about it. That's an interesting point, Bob. But no, I understand your love of World's Not Enough for the video game, because I actually think the video game is better than the movie. Lorenzo, GoldenEye 007 N64 is my childhood. Yep, same as many of us here. My child life. Favorite James Bond video game, greatness of classic video games, favorite video game, love movie as well. Yeah, well, GoldenEye is like, I'm weird enough, I swear people now think of GoldenEye more as a video game than a movie. In general. I mean, I can talk to people saying, oh, I haven't seen the movie, but I love the game. That's always around. And Lorenzo writes, Tomorrow Never Dies on PlayStation 1 is my favorite childhood life. Yep, again, it's great for you, and I love it's fantastic for you. It just didn't quite work with me. But hey, we can have a conversation about it. Heck, we probably will. Just saying, you know what, I like this about it, but I can understand maybe why you didn't like that. But hey, each their own, bud. And if anyone tries to tell you that you shouldn't like it, you send them over to me and I'll sort them straight. Okay, Lorenzo writes, PlayStation 2, Agent Under Fire, 00795, Everything and Nothing, Teenage Favorite, James Bond video games. Yeah. Again, that's when I sort of really got into my Bond video gaming. I mean, yeah, technically Goldeneye was the start. But those EA games were terrific. And again, just think about it. There was a time when EA games made great games. Just fraggles the brain. Jack writes, to me, Nightfire on PS... To me, is the I think you mean the best one. Nightfire on the PS2, and I played that a lot on the PS2. I played GoldenEye in 64 in high school. Yeah, we all did it. It was great. I mean, hold on, let's just work it out. I was 5 when the game came out, so, I didn't play it that much. You play a little bit. Well, I think I played more the multiplayer than the actual single player itself, but I do know that game back to front nearly, I swear. All that for Professor Dom. Lorenzo writes, GoldenEye 007 is a perfect classic Bond video game system, iconic classic games. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, that just wrapped up in one. Exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. 007 Racing, underrated. Lorenzo, we do not talk about Bruno. We do not talk about 007 Racing. Let me make that perfectly clear. We do not talk about Bruno. We do not talk about 007 Racing. Sorry, but Lorenzo carries on. Agent Under Fire, yeah, fantastic fun. Great video game. Still gets a lot of hype, which is really, really great. Agent Under Fire multiplayer was so fun. Yeah, it was. Again, I mentioned earlier about zip lining everywhere. It was really great. Great multiplayer maps. Absolutely. Lorenzo again writes, 007 Nightfire, really great game. See, this is Lorenzo, you love the games just as much as me. It's always terrific. Space Odds, 1985. GoldenEye N64, in my opinion, made GoldenEye legacy. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Most fans love GoldenEye the film due to the game. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt on that, absolutely. Again, I think the game has had almost a bigger life than the film itself. Nightfire had the best intro of any Bond game. No, I'd actually put that from Russia of Love. I think Fighting Through the House of Parliament and the jetpack at the end, round Big Ben, was, to me, like, great opening. I agree about Nightfire. Nightfire is just, again, thank you very much. But as I say, I think the storyline just didn't quite work for me. The multiplayer was something completely legendary. Lorenzo, I had fantastic fun time, fantastic games as teenagers. I do love the multiplayer. You control that rocket launcher gun. Yeah, it was just fun. I mean, again, it's nice to know other people did that thing about, for those of you who might have just joined in, we're talking about the Nightfire multiplayer, how we had that rocket launcher that you control the missiles. We used to go choose different maps and like select places to hide and try and fly around the map with the rocket launcher, trying not to hit things. It was great. Loved Everything or Nothing. The spider bots, there we go. The rappel, the driving missions. William Dafoe needs to be a Bond villain in the films. Yeah, he could still do it. I'd be up for that without a shadow of a doubt. Lorenzo, Everything or Nothing is a fantastic Bond video game, mixes with Bond movie perfectly, entertaining, joyful, action-packed, exciting Bond video games, fantastic casting, fantastic storyline, just great fun. Yep, absolutely, bud. Yeah, I think Everything or Nothing is Brosnan's sort of, 5th James Bond film, and that's the way I see it. Lorenzo, Everything or Nothing's campaign storyline was amazing fun. Yeah, it was just designed for a video game and just exploited it perfectly. And I actually think Jaws coming back really worked for that. Lorenzo, Everything or Nothing, amazing classic James Bond video game. Here to that. I agree. The era you mentioned was released in my late teens. Yeah, I think the EA game era of James Bond games was the pinnacle and the platinum standard, if you will, of Bond video games. For Russia Love, fantastic video game. Yeah, I really did love it, bud. I really, really did. Lorenzo again writes, 007 Bloodstone is one of my favorite video games. Do you say why? I mean, all fair to you, bud. I think it has some great moments in it, but I just couldn't get into it as much. Please tell me, what was it about it that really got you into it? I'd be very interested and love to hear. Lorenzo again there. Quantum of Solace, fantastic video game as well. Yeah, I do agree with that as well. Absolutely. I think the Casino Royale levels were good. All the levels were good now. And I think the COD gameplay and the engine allowed a lot of people just to get into it as well, which was really good. Jack Hine again writes, I play the 007 games from Agent Under Fire to 007's Legends. I did not like 007 Legends. No one likes this game. I'm still to find someone who actually likes it. All right, I'll take the bait. 007 Legends is shit. it? Yes, it is. 1 minute. There, gone. We'll never have to talk about it again. Lorenzo again writes, 007 Bloodstone is my favorite video game. I enjoy it. That's great, bud. I'm really glad that you do. It has a great following. I know a lot of people who do love it. It just didn't quite work for me, but hey, I'm super proud and super happy and super overjoyed that you love it. Too late. Yeah, unfortunately, too late. Goldeneye Reloaded is okay. It's a fun game. Yeah, again, I know I think I have a bit more. I like this game a lot more than most other people, but I really did enjoy it. I just really did. 007 is the worst. Well, it's gone now, so we don't have to worry about it. 007 is the worst Bond game. Yeah, but that Shadow. Well, no, that's the game like we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about 007 Racing. Captain Alex, hello, sir. I don't know, but I know this. James Bond is immortal. Well, he's immortal in our hearts, in our thoughts, in our imaginations and creativity. And for anyone saying they can't carry on making Bond films because he died in the last film, of course they're just going to carry it on. They're going to reboot the franchise. Of course they're going to do it. So it's a bit of a thingy. So in one sense, Captain Alex, you are right. James Bond is immortal. You're really a captain, by the way. Really interesting. I'm just seeing your profile picture there. If you are, sir. James Bond video game Sorry, Lorenzo. James Bond video games makes me a big fan of the franchise. We need more Bond video games. We absolutely do. What I'd really love to do, and I keep meaning to message Calvin Dyson about this because I know he's into video games so much like me. I would love to do a sort of video with him where we could potentially discuss what in our minds could be like the perfect James Bond video game. If anyone would actually like to see that, please message him about it as well. Just or tag me in or something. I think it'd be great just for him and me to chat about that. Lorenzo, interesting. It is interesting. Let me remind you all. I have no idea what's interesting, but whatever it is, I think you're interesting, Lorenzo. Great. I hate the Obi-Wan series. It destroyed canon. Okay. So for you, you felt it destroyed canon. And I can understand that. Again, I mentioned my reasons, my friend, about why I don't think it does. It actually slits in fine. But I can see what you mean because there is like the implications in New Hope compared to Revenge of the Sith. And there are other stuff like this. I mean, a friend of mine at work, his name's Dan. He literally said, surely Leia would actually go, hey, Obi-Wan, I need your help. Remember when you saved me last time? I need your help again here with the Death Star plans. There are little bits like that, and I do get it. But for me, hold on. For me, Obi-Wan Kenobi slits in perfectly well. And, Star Wars has always had a bit of a loose continuity a bit with things. So I'm okay with it. But I do get where you're coming from. I really do. Captain Alex, which 007 game should be remastered? I tell you exactly what should be remastered. You see these four? I want them to be available digitally on Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. Every single one of these. But if I had to pick one, I would say go with Nightfire remastered so we can have the multiplayer and do it online as well. Captain Alex. Oh no, we just had that one. Goldeneye don't count, which obviously I said Nightfire. Yeah. Leia never met Obi-Wan. Well, we've assumed that, in my opinion. I get that. I think we've assumed that. But obviously they've changed that now. And, we've just got to, I think we've got to accept that that's what's happened. But if you look at New Hope again, and by the way, I did do this. I looked over that, bit with the message. And there's nothing there that would slightly contradict it, but I do get where you're coming from. Again, my other brother felt the same way you do here about Leia never met Obi-Wan, so that mixed things up. But to me, it was a good story because I thought, what would get Obi-Wan off Tatooine? What could possibly get him off? And for me, that would be Leia being kidnapped. And Obi-Wan never faced Darth Vader until New Hope. Yeah, again, when they announced the show, they said Hayden Chris coming back and they were going to have a rematch. I thought, okay, this does slightly break that, but if you give me something good and worthwhile, I'll be okay with it. And to me, it sort of did, because when they met first time, Obi-Wan's a broken man, but then you see him again. That whole fight sequence between those two was so dramatic and powerful, and was so emotionally connected to them. And the bit at the end, where they have the chat at the end, it was incredible to watch. But I do get your point. I just disagree with it. But hey, bud, if someone says to you, well, no, you're wrong, you bring them over to me and I'll put them there because you're entitled to your opinion on this, and I respect it. And I'll always listen. If you disagree with me, I'll always listen to your side as well and try to see it from your perspective. What I've tried to do, but I do get where you're coming from. A lot of people feel the same way, but hey, it's just how it's gone. Back to Bond, yeah. Say we're going a bit back to Bond. Captain, you've written again about the goal, which should be remastered. I stand by it that it's Nightfire. Lorenzo again. Everything or Nothing is my favorite James Bond video game. You, mate, I swear, you're literally every time I mention a game, you're saying it's your favorite. But don't get me wrong, Everything or Nothing is one of my greats as well. Lorenzo again writes, Goldeneye Rogation, underrated Bond video game. The storyline had so much potential, but the execution was horrible. Yeah, exactly. What the storyline game is the highlight. I think am I understanding correctly is to say like you thought the actual like plot of how works with Dr. No to tackle golfing and all that stuff was the highlight? In one sense, yeah. But I hoped it would be more like actually playing like maybe as an agent of Spectre versus British Secret Service, something like that. Lorenzo, the World's Not Enough video game makes me love the movie. Makes me love the movie. The game does a great job following the movie. It makes me a big happy fan. Exactly. And what more could you ask for? And it was a great game to play, without shadow of a doubt. And Lorenzo writes, 20 hours video game PlayStation 1 is a nostalgic fun video game. I still play it to this day. That's awesome, bud. I love that. To be honest, again, I would love all Bond games to be available on like Xbox Game Pass, Switch, like what Nintendo Store is called, and PlayStation Store. I'd love that. Absolutely. Okay, we have Jack saying, I love both Quantum of Solace and Bloodstone and play the hell out of them. Yeah, they're great games. I will say this, as much as I maybe like pissed on Bloodstone, it is a nice fun game you can just pick up and play and do, which is really great. And same with Quantum of Solace. So I will give Bloodstone that certainly praise. It is a game you can easily have fun, pick up and play. Jack Game writes, I love Goldeneye Reloaded and played the hell out of that game also. Yeah, well, I did too. It was a fun game. Good challenge towards the end as well. Jack, there's going to be a new Indiana Jones game. Oh, please. Because we don't really talk, I've never really talked much about Indiana Jones on this channel here, but Infernal Machine, the Indiana Jones Infernal Machine game I had some amazing fun with it. That's a game very strongly in my heart. And The Emperor's Tomb, again, I wish we could get these games like on digital versions on the digital stores. It would be great. Lorenzo, I like 007 Bloodstone, had an interesting storyline. I do like the third person of it. Okay, I'll give that another praise if I made to Bloodstone. You're right. I should have brought that out. I do like the third person aspect to it. The storyline, it just wasn't engaging to me as much as I wanted it to. But everyone, that seems to be the end of all the questions here. That seems to be it, which is really great. We had a great chat about Bond video games, a bit of Top Gun, a bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi. If any of you... Oh, hold on, Lorenzo. Henry, why do you not like 007 Racing? Because the game was crap and it broke down. It was buggy. It was horrible to control. And it was just, I felt like the worst sort of cash grab that didn't work. I like the idea that you can drive all the James Bond cars, yet the execution wasn't that good, but the driving all the James cars, I just didn't find it fun. At the end of the game, I want a video game to engage me and be really fun. It just didn't work for me, bud. But hey, if you love it, awesome. I'm glad the game does have some good fans. I'm really glad someone loves it, which I'm really glad you really enjoy it. But everyone, that seems to be the end of today's live stream. We've talked a great lot about Bond video games, which I think has been over the moon fun. I hope you've really enjoyed it. We've done a bit of Top Gun Maverick, a bit of talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Again, if you ever want to chat to me about something more about Obi-Wan Kenobi or James Bond in general, you've got the Bond Geek page and the group James Bond Geek Heaven. You can message me on there, and we can chat a bit more about any of the stuff we've talked about. I hope you look forward to next month's videos coming out. I really do. Hopefully, we might have some like big Bond news that might come out in July. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for that. But as always, everyone, this is the end of the stream. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone watching. I hope you enjoyed it. My name's Henry Stevens, and this is, of course, as always, the Bond Geek. Goodbye.